father and son were sitting in a car stuck in a traffic jam and arguing with each other. Suddenly, someone breaks the door of their car and attacks it with a bang from the van in front of them. The cars that were out of the car sit back in the car. Is the attacker a human or an animal? It is not clear. The leg was lying on one hand like an animal. The police take this strange creature, and we found out that due to some disease in the city, humans have begun to take the shape of animals. The government is looking for a cure for this disease. Franskio, whom we saw in the car, his wife was also a victim of this disease, which was admitted to the hospital. Franskio wanted to take care of his wife himself, but due to her deteriorating condition, doctors advise him to stay in the hospital. When he goes to meet him, we see his face, which was exactly like an animal. When Franskio tells his daughter to meet his mother, he replies, "What will I do by meeting them?" Now, she didn't even understand what I said. Franskio says, "She will be happy to see you. You go." The hotel where Franskio works, the people there have told him that a new hospital has been built nearby. The hospital is very strong because it will keep animals there. When it was night, all the sick people were being shifted to that hospital. But because of the mess, the bus falls into the water. Many such animals are killed and many are lost. At night, Franskio's son is also scared to see a person like this in the window of his house. But when he looked again, there was no one there. He thinks this is his illusion. As soon as Franskio finds out about this accident, he goes to the place of the accident to find out about his wife. And the strange thing is that he finds out from the police officer that his wife was neither in the dead nor in the living. She was lost somewhere. After the scene, we see Franskio's son playing tug of war with the children at school. The one who had defeated his losing team in just a few minutes. That is, he had a lot of strength in him. He didn't even know how. In all this, his nail was also broken.
So when he was going home, his friend stopped him and asked him about the party on Friday, in which he didn't want to go for some reason. When he comes home, he notices that his leg bone is coming out. He is afraid that he is also becoming an animal. In this fear, he starts taking a bath. But this was not a palace that would come down.
On the other hand, Franskio meets the same police officer in the supermall, from whom he found out about his wife's disappearance, who still says that your wife is nowhere to be found. Her name is not on the list of dead people. And we are taking good care of the people who are alive. During these talks, suddenly someone shouts loudly in the mall. When everyone gathers in a fratafri, that man says that I saw a strange person here. Everyone goes to the side from there, while Franskio goes ahead to see that strange person, because he thought that maybe his wife would be here. But here was a man who looked like an octopus, who was trying to run away from here after seeing the police officer with Franskio. He threw a lot of things in his hand towards the officer, but the officer was also very sharp and he caught this man. After catching him, Franskio also sees a little girl here, who would become a bird. When he comes out of the mall, the police officer asks Franskio, "Who did you buy so much stuff for?" Franskio says that nothing, I am just going to the cafe. I will need this stuff at that time. Although he bought this stuff to find his wife. He thought that after that accident, his wife is lost in the jungle. He had hung his and his son's clothes in the jungle, because now his wife's sense of smell had become very sharp. He thought that by smelling these clothes, his wife would reach him. Now, because it is the order of the government that these people cannot keep such sick people at home. But Franskio wanted to do the same thing. He wanted to take care of his wife himself, and in this way he needed all this stuff. When he comes home, he tells his son, "Today, 2 animal-shaped people have been seen in the mall, and there are many such people who have been lost after that accident, and I think your mom is also lost. You don't worry, we will go to the jungle on Friday and find them." But now Franskio's son was going to a party on Friday, because today a girl had invited him to this party. Franskio, not wanting to go, allows him to go to the party. He says, "Remember, you have to come home before 8 o'clock. Everyone was having a lot of fun at this party. And here suddenly Franskio's son gets dizzy. A girl who sees his bad condition and gives him a tablet. So instead of eating that tablet, he licks it like a dog. After that, he goes to the jungle without fear. When he opens his eyes in the morning, he was in the jungle. He felt like something was stuck in his throat. He comes home immediately. His lips had changed a lot. Along with that, his complexion had also changed. When his dad comes to see him in the bathroom, he quickly closes the bathroom door and puts his hand in his throat and pulls out something. which was a puke. This boy had now understood that he too was turning into an animal. Now he goes with his dad to the jungle with his dog to find his mother. Franskio's son was calling out to his mother loudly, but when he doesn't find anyone, people get tired and go to sleep. In the middle of the night, his dog suddenly started barking loudly. And he goes to a tree where a monkey-shaped person is on top. When these people go to check him, suddenly an eagle-shaped person attacks Franskio's daughter. Before he kills Franskio's son, looking at his lips, he understands that Franskio's son is just like him. He is turning into an animal and this will not harm him. However, this eagle-shaped person still hurt Franskio's son. So Franskio takes his son to the hospital. But he didn't want to go, because by going there, everyone would know the truth, that he is turning into an animal. But on the way, he meets the police officer who asks Franskio if there is a problem with his son. Franskio says, no, just a dog bit him. The police officer says whatever it is, he has to go to the hospital. He comes to the hospital with both of them. Army doctors bandage him here, and the police officer tells Franskio that the government has called the army here to control all this. Anyway, Franskio goes home with his son, and when he reaches home, his son strangely takes off his bandage, opens his legs and starts licking his wound. Even when he goes to school, when the rats speak in his lab, he screams loudly and silences all the rats, as if the rats are understanding him. After which Franskio's son goes out to the river. He had eaten a raw fish from the river, and a woman had also seen all this. Before the woman did anything to him, he ran away from there. In the jungle, he again meets that eagle-shaped man who was trying to fly and had succeeded to a great extent. He gives him his caught raw fish. He talks to him, and this eagle-shaped man tells him that I am changing into a bird. I want to fly, but I fall again and again, and this hurts me a lot. Do you know of any place where I can learn to fly easily? This boy says yes, why not? He takes him to a pond. From the pond, he pulls the branches of a palm tree to the side and tells him that you can fly here freely. And even if you fall down, you will not fall into the water. You will be hurt. Here in Franskio's restaurant, suddenly an animal-shaped man attacks. That too on Franskio. Franskio notices that there was another animal-shaped man there who saw this big animal and ran away from there. Maybe she could have been Franskio's wife. He was thinking the same thing here when the animal that had attacked him was screaming loudly. Before all the customers sitting in this hotel get scared, the owner of this hotel tells the animal to shut up. Surprisingly, the animal listened to the owner. The animal listened to the owner. The animal had chains in its paws, because of which it could not run back into the jungle, and went to the customer's site. And in a little while, the police come and catch this animal. Franskio also went with the officer to look for another big animal in the jungle, but there he does not find anyone, but he finds his son's cycle. From which when he comes home and goes to the sink to wash his hands, he finds some nails in the sink. These nails were broken by Franskio's son and thrown in it. Franskio had understood that now his son was turning into an animal. It is shown that one of his teeth broke in the glass and fell, because of which when everyone makes fun of him, he goes away from there and reaches the eagle-shaped man. He talks to him, watches his practice, and calls the bandages on his wounds. Surprised, now his dad tells him to show me his hands. When Franskio's son did not show him his hands, now it was confirmed to him that his son was turning into an animal. Franskio's son also runs away from there, but Franskio catches him. He was telling his dad, please dad, leave me, don't catch me. But his dad says, no, I know what is happening to you. You are turning into an animal. As soon as you become, you will be my daughter. Just tell me what changes are coming inside you, so that I can find out which animal you are turning into. Franskio's son says that now I hear a lot of clears from far away, and he asks about my strange nails. Franskio asks, does your friends know this? To which he replies, no, no one knows. Now he was asking his dad, will you keep talking to me with chains like mom? His dad gets quiet for a while, and then he says, not now, but I don't know about the future. The next day there was a party at Franskio's restaurant. When Franskio's son came there, his nails had grown a lot. His dad scolds him and says, why didn't you cut these nails? He felt so bad for scolding his dad that he attacked his own dad and injured him. But in fact, Franskio was trying to save him from the eyes of the people. He also keeps scissors on his neck and threatens him to cut the nails. And after cutting the nails, we see that Franskio's son was now meeting his friend. These two come very close. At this time, the girl touches Franskio's daughter's backbone. And she says, I know all the changes that are coming inside you, but I don't care. On the other hand, her classmate also found out the truth about Franskio's son. He now comes in front of Franskio's son with a strange device, whose voice doesn't say anything to humans, but animals get very annoyed with him. This boy annoys Franskio's son a lot and says, I have known your truth for a long time. Franskio's son can't take it anymore, and in a fit of anger, he slaps the boy on the face. There were marks on his cheek. Due to all these things, the situation had also worsened. The police and the army were now looking for him in the jungle. And here he is helped by the eagle-like man whom he helped fly. While flying, he is taken to a jungle from here. The police and the army also reach there. Franskio's son had now gone to the other side of the river, but the car could not run in the water, so the army shoots him. And that eagle-like man, who had become a friend of Franskio's son, dies in this attack. Franskio's son, as if he had accepted this place as his home, he eats fruits here and bathes in the river. When he comes out, there were strange marks on his back, as if his body was changing very fast. Franskio's son, now while walking, reaches such a part of the jungle where there were many animal-like humans, and here he also meets his mom, who recognized him by his smell. She could not speak like a human, but she was sending her son to a cave again and again, as if she is saying that this is a safe place for you. Emil notices that some people had turned into snakes, a pig had become in some monkeys, and a child had fallen. Everyone was living here very peacefully before the military fired smoke here. Doing this creates a commotion here. The army uses a special device to make some sounds here, such sounds that bothered the animals a lot. These sounds also bother Franskio's daughter a lot, as she is also caught by the military. But the girl who had turned into a cricket hides herself on the tree and escapes from them. The police had now come to the city with Franskio's son, where his dad meets the police and tells them that this is my son who had gone to the jungle in the same way at night. Franskio's son, because he was still looking like a human, so the police do not have any doubt. They give him a paper to sign. Franskio's son, when he could not sign on it, he roars in anger. And so the police suspect that he is transforming into an animal. They were about to catch him, but here Franskio kills the police, signs on the paper given to him, and takes his son away from here. While the officer, who had helped Franskio from the beginning of the movie, now finds out that something is wrong. That's why the military is now following them. Seeing this, Franskio's son gets scared and he asks his dad, if they catch me and lock me up in the health center, will you come to meet me? Franskio says, it is not possible that they can catch you. I am with you. Here Franskio's son also tells him that I saw a mob in the jungle. Franskio also feels good to hear this. He quickly leaves his car in the middle of the jungle and tells his son, go, you will be happy to be free in this jungle. Without wasting time, Franskio's son had run away from there. Franskio had tears in his eyes, tears of joy, because he had saved his son from the torture of the government on him. And with all this, the film story ends here.